Hello everyone, this is Monstertaming coming at you with another Kindred Fates video. This time we're going to be speculating on the beta, which is coming up in less than a week now, actually. I've been chosen as one of the early quality assurance testers, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what the title is. We're basically going to be looking for bugs and possibly providing feedback, although like they said, feedback is at this point is probably not going to be implemented before the beta comes back, but it's still welcome. I've had to sign an NDA, so when we actually get the beta, I'm not going to be able to talk about it anymore until after it comes out. And so I wanted to use this opportunity as our last chance to speculate, as we haven't actually got our beta builds yet. So I want to talk about specifically what kinfolk are going to be in the beta, how much story content is going to be in the beta, and just anything else that we might come across in this kind of mad rambling here. So, first off for kinfolk, and also I've insulated myself from pretty much any information about the beta up until this point, so I haven't really read the newsletters. I know that early access is going to have more of the story, and the beta will have some single player, and so on and so forth, but I don't know like all the details, or if there even are any details, so I can just experience the beta fresh, so I could just be getting things blatantly wrong here. So I apologize for that if that's annoying to anyone, but this is going to be my completely blind speculation. So we know there's a little bit of single player, and we know that I'm pretty sure there's 2 new kinfolk I think I saw, but I'm not 100% sure on that. My guesses for kinfolk to start with, I would be surprised if K-Knight wasn't in there. K-Knight, they've changed Ember's smoke around his neck, and I know one of the main reasons they were holding K-Knight back is because of that smoke texture, and maybe they were testing it on Ember, and they're going to be able to implement it on K-Knight. And then they also have Auburn in here, so we already have 2 fire types from that same line, so I'm kind of guessing that maybe they've been testing and getting ready for K-Knight's release. I know that would make Inku very happy. If you don't know who Inku is, look him up. He is a wonderful Kindred Fates content creator. He was, as to my knowledge, I apologize if I'm forgetting anyone, the only content creator who was consistently posting after I went away. So big shout out to Inku for that. But yeah, K-Knight is my #1 guess. And then for the second kinfolk, it gets a lot more hazy, but I'm thinking Hole Piercer, codename Hole Piercer, the shark we've seen in some of the trailers, just because it seems fully rigged and seems to, it has some attacks, and the art looks pretty final to me anyways. Everything's always work in progress, but it looks good enough to me that I would expect to see it. And we've actually seen it do an attack in the Tatalon video. It did a bite attack, so we know it has some kind of attack animations in and whatnot. And I think that's one of the kinfolk we've seen the most who we haven't actually played with yet. So that would be one of my #1 guesses, is that Hole Piercer would be the other kinfolk that comes in. As for the story, now we know this is going to be the first time single player is ever revealed, and we know that early access will expand on it more. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not gonna be the first area of the game. I think we're gonna get kind of dropped in to an area where we're not particularly familiar with, probably something inspired by the camp in the alpha, like that immediate surrounding. And we're not gonna get starters. They're not gonna reveal who the starters are yet, and we're just gonna be able to pick from kinfolk, maybe a handful or something like that. We might start with like 2 or 3 or even 4 possibly in our team, kind of like we did in the alpha. But I don't think we're going to actually pick starters. I think we're going to just be able to pick from a predetermined selection, kind of like the alpha, because I know Rob really wants the game to be special when it comes out, and I don't think he would be willing to spoil the starters for people who aren't in the beta. I think the beta is just going to be a teaser for the main story. For as to what the content of our region is going to be, I think we're going to see crafting, we're going to see summoner battles, we're going to see bonding, obviously, and I'm Not sure if we're going to see co-op, but probably. I think we might see co-op because that we already have the framework for multiplayer with PvP, and I don't think it would be a huge leap to go from that into co-op. And testing co-op in the beta would definitely be preferable to just launching it for the wider audience and then having it so that a bunch of stuff breaks. So I think that we will probably see co-op, crafting, fighting and challenging other summoners of the world, and bonding are the main items that I would put on the list, and some quests, but quests are kind of obvious. Anything else? I think we're going to see 2v2. Last I heard, 2v2 was supposed to come in beta, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't appear at some point in beta's life cycle, unless 2v2 got canceled that I'm not aware of. I think that beta is going to be their last big chance to iron out any bugs before they go into early access. Early access is technically about ironing out bugs, but from everything I've gathered from a great variety of games, of every genre essentially, you don't really want to release a buggy game in early access. You want to release a game that is almost good enough to play, except for the missing content, as if you just abandoned it and never updated it again. Or else people tend to get a little bit upset. So I imagine that they're going to be very careful with early access. They're not going to drop it with a bunch of unresolved bugs, and that we're going to be able to iron out those bugs in beta. From what I understand, early access is not going to be long after beta, I think. Don't quote me on that 100%. Or at least we're going to hear something about it not long after beta drops, so we'll probably know more soon. And yeah, I think that any feature that is going to need ironing out is going to be in the beta, and that's just my opinion in a nutshell. As a backup guess to who could be in the beta if not K-Knight and Hole Piercer, I think that maybe Humble Shepherd could be. Or Deer Dog, for those of you who don't know from the alpha. They could possibly be there. And maybe Briarheart. I haven't seen a lot of Briarheart, but I do think they have some animations ready for them. But yeah, there's a lot to think about. Let me know your speculations in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out greatly. And to any of my regular viewers, I've been trying out new ways to fix my mic. I'm having to lean really close into this one because it's pretty quiet, but tell me how you like it. I'm not sure I can do this in the Let's Plays just yet, but I'm eager for feedback. And for everyone else, hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all in the next one. And hopefully we can fight each other in the beta, or at the very least, the early access. See ya.